Hello everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm so happy you guys are here. You guys are here for the 6th episode of 7 Levels with Lionheart. I'm your host Lion, and I'm just like super excited to be able to keep doing this. We had a great interview last week with Metal Fear 4 from Australia. Talked about some really awesome stuff surrounding like education and stuff like that. I hope you guys watched that video. There'll be like a little button you can click up there if you guys want to go back and see it. The only reason we can keep doing these interviews is because you guys keep telling me some awesome people that I need to go meet. And that being said, I'm so excited to have a first ever interaction with a very unique individual that I can't wait to ask some questions to. Guys, we have our first ever VTuber on 7 Levels with Lionheart. And so without any further ado, welcome to the 7 Levels, our new friend, Minimal Art. Minimal Art, how are you doing? Are you doing all right?
Hi, I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited for this.
Yes, me too.
So before we get going any further, Minimal Art, what do you like to be called? What can I call you? Is it Minimal? Is it
You can. People call me Minimal, but usually for short, people call me Min.
Min or
Yep.
Minimal? Okay, awesome,
Yep.
awesome. Well, go ahead and take a second to tell us a little bit about yourself, like about your content
All right.
and things like that.
Okay, so I'm a VTuber. I stream on Twitch, and my channel's mostly. I'm primarily a art streamer. I do a lot of art, a lot of my content creation on stream, like whatever live 2D models, or if like art illustrations. Like sometimes people commission me, and then I'll do them. I'll of course ask for permission first, and then I'll start working on them on stream, and like for everybody to enjoy, to see, like to look into like the stuff I do as an artist. Yeah. So that's mostly what I do. And on Fridays we play games. Mostly Animal Crossing, Splatoon, whatever games my community buys me.
Awesome.
Yeah, because like sometimes that happens.
Oh yeah, I
Like
know.
if people want me to play a game, I always tell them, I'm open to playing games as long as my computer can handle it. I will try to play it. But I do have motion sickness, so some games are like a little off limits. So yeah, I don't want to be like barfing on stream.
So, do I understand correctly that like everything we are looking at right now is something that you've
Yeah.
designed and
Yes.
wow, that's
From head to toe, I am just yeah, it's all my art. Yeah, which is really interesting that you that you asked that because like a lot of people assume that like I commissioned somebody. I'm like, nah. I just have because I have a variety of styles. So every time my art style is different and people are like, "Hey, did you commission your model?" I'm like, "No, it's all me." And they're like, "Wait, huh?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, I can draw like I have 7 personalities."
wow, that's awesome. Well, I would say something that I've said in other videos before is like I have a really big like I love seeing people's like streamer rooms, and so something I really
Mhm,
appreciate
mhm.
from your streamer room that you actually physically drew, which is awesome, is I see your little Wooloo up on the top shelf, and I think that's dope that you have a Wooloo back
Yes, I
there.
actually have a Wooloo like that, and I love him. He's so fluffy.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, so like what part about your this the stuff in the background is obviously
Mhm,
static, but like you
mhm.
are moving. So like what is
Yep.
the hardest part about the character that this format that you've designed to keep moving and keep interacting with? Because it seems like
Um.
from my side looking in, it looks
Mhm.
like your eyes actually have the most movement going on, but uh, literally every piece of you is moving. So I wouldn't doubt it if there's other pieces that took just as much effort.
Well, I don't do the animating part. I actually work with another person who does the rigging. So all I have to do, the hardest part about doing a VTuber model, however, I will tell you, is the amount of layers that is required because
Mm.
you have to split every single piece of the model, especially if it's live 2D. 3D is a little different. Of course, rigging in 3D is also very hard, but in live 2D, the artist gets the most painful task of splitting every single strand of like your hair. Like basically how much movement you want to have is how much you have to split. So you
Mm,
can imagine how much I had to split this.
mm.
Yeah.
Um, were you ever a non VTuber Twitch
Oh
streamer?
yeah.
Okay.
No, I was never a non VTuber streamer. I actually started streaming because like I saw a couple friends doing VTubing, and then they got me into VTubing as well. And they're like, "Man, you should totally be a VTuber." And I'm just like, "Oh yeah, sure." I started off as a PNG, like everybody else.
Mm,
We're just a stagnant image with in a transparent background,
right.
and we're just sitting there with our overlays and talking, and people listening to our voice as I draw. But these days, PNG tubers have evolved to even now they can start. You can start animating them, like in terms of like blinking and opening and closing their mouth, but they're still like mostly PNG. You can't get too much expressions out of them,
Mm,
but still really cool stuff. So
right.
if you chance upon a PNG tuber, please give them all the head pats, all the pats in the back. Yeah, they're really, I really admire these people as well. They've evolved the scene so much, and I really appreciate it because I started off as that. And to see that become something even cooler now, I'm just like, whoa, the possibilities are endless, you know? Yeah.
So,
So I upgraded into being like a live 2D model. Yeah. So well, because my working partner basically decided one day she wanted to devote her time into doing live 2D for a living. So I was like, yeah, sure. If you do this, I will support you by giving you art to rig.
well, awesome. So I'm curious, like there seems to be, again, I was just recently introduced to VTubing like a couple weeks ago. Well, like I know I've known it's a thing, but I didn't know how I guess actively people were trying to get into it. So now I'm really excited to talk to a VTuber because I've had some questions. So uh
Mhm,
um
mhm.
before we get into 7 levels, I was just I have a really I guess maybe particular question, specific question maybe for like VTubers, like um I guess what is the well, first of all, what would be the animation goal for a VTuber? Like right now, this is like seems very interactive. Like I
Mhm.
imagine the motions that I'm seeing out of you is like
Mhm.
relatively what your shoulders and your face is doing.
Yeah, yeah.
But what is like what's the top tier of VTuber animation?
Oh, right now, like recently I see people being able to actually have hands and move their hands.
Oh,
Like I'm talking finger for finger
wow, all five,
movement.
huh?
Yes, all 10.
All 10, both hands.
Yeah, all
Okay.
10, both hands. Like they can do weird stuff with their hands. They can now do a lot more things with like VTube Studio. That one's mostly for VTube Studio. For PRPR Live is what I use. There are like pros and cons in both. Like I will get into that later because like that's a lot of technicals. So actually I won't be diving into that because it's a lot like technical stuff, and it's so confusing
Oh
even
yeah,
for me.
I'm sure.
Like fingers, you can move them now, and like some people can even turn like all the way to the side, you know,
Hmm.
which is like really hard to do. You have to like draw a lot more things and split a lot more things, which I think is crazy, but it's so cool at the same time. I don't know how to explain it. If you can nail it, you're like you're there.
Well, awesome. Okay, another question I would have is maybe this one is maybe um a little bit, I don't know, it's kind of deep. But I'm just curious. Like
All right, sure,
um
sure.
do you think VTubing is how do I phrase this? Do you think VTubing is in like healthy, I guess, for a confident person, or like does it help build confidence, or does it, do you think maybe it helps or maybe does it help build shyness, you know what I mean? Like, so because in the only
I
reason,
understand.
yeah, yeah.
It's a very commonly asked question.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So like with this kind of thing, people usually ask like, why do you choose to be a VTuber? Why don't you want to show your face, or whatever? My answer to that is some of us like privacy. I don't want too much of myself on the internet. I just want my personality on the internet. I want, because as an artist, for me at least, I want people to focus on my art, not me. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want people to be, judging me for my looks or like, the way I dress, how I am. Like I want you to like my content for my content.
Hmm.
I And the
Interesting.
best way I can show off like my content is to be my content itself. So that's for me. But I know a lot of other VTubers. They are VTubers because of other reasons, like they don't really want to show their face, like privacy reasons as well,
Yeah.
and like some of them are like a little insecure about how they look, or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, for some, they do show their faces from time to time in their social medias. They still do take selfies and post them online. Um, there are also those kinds of VTubers, which no shame, everybody's invited to the party. Uh, it's just a different approach for everyone.
Yeah.
Some people just like to be behind an avatar. It's like you play Animal Crossing because you like Animal Crossing, or you play like certain games because you like that game. Yeah, it's really that.
Hmm. Okay. So have you seen the movie Ready Player One?
Yes, I have. I love it.
Yeah, a great movie. It is really cool. Do you think like where we are in V as like a VTuber,
Hmm.
like we're slowly progressing into having more like VTuber Twitch content and YouTube content and stuff like that? Do you think we're like progressing to Ready Player One kind of atmosphere,
I
or
feel like we are working towards it, especially with recent Facebook updates, the metaverse.
yeah,
It's very Ready Player One feels. I When I first heard about it, I was like, this is so Ready Player One. Like
yeah?
it's about to happen for real, for real.
They even like show like the freaking like Oculus thing that goes over the eyes and everything like that. You're like, oh, I mean,
Yeah, like, it's a matter of time before you get like the sensory stuff,
yeah,
Like you can feel things happening to you, like you're literally living online. But I think with everything I would prefer a balance. I like why I choose to be a VTuber is so that I can separate my real life from my online life.
mm,
You know what I mean? So I can live offline if I wanted to.
yeah,
And nobody would like harass me or know who the heck I am.
mm-hmm,
Like I wouldn't get that level of stress that a lot of people who are celebrities on Twitch will get, because I know I have IRL friends who like stream IRL. Like they
yeah.
go around with the camera walking
Can't even
around the
imagine doing
malls,
that. I couldn't do that. That's wild.
and they get stream sniped by weirdos all the time. It's
Yeah,
so annoying.
yeah,
I cannot. I don't want to live like that.
yeah.
What I told myself, I don't want to live like that. I don't want people following me. I want to be left 100% alone. But that's probably just my social anxiety speaking.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You actually like accidentally asked my last follow up question about being a VTuber, and that is at
Hmm.
the end of the day, when you shut off your interface, that is your VTuber interface, you don't feel
Mm-mm.
like you're turning yourself off, right? Like you're
Oh
still
yeah,
you
I'm very
walking
much
away from
myself.
your
Yeah.
setup. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
Wow.
It's like I have a separate life online than in real life. Like in real life I'm this business person doing work all the time. Like, you know, it's always business, business, business. Meetings, 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 sponsor meetings, blah blah blah. That kind of shit. Like, that's my real life, and my online life is just an entertainer and like just entertaining people with my art, my content. Being a content creator full time
Wow.
is what I live on online.
That is so cool and interesting. I feel like I could talk to you. I could probably talk to you for hours about this. I'm so curious, so curious. But
No
but
problems.
what we are
We can
here.
have a chat longer, like in the future.
Oh, I'm excited. I'll hold you to that because I want to know so much more. I want to be a
Yeah,
VTuber
sure, sure,
now. Like
sure.
heck, if you're telling me I don't have to clean my room, sounds great. Okay, but
Yeah, like that's the perks about it. I don't have to get dressed. Like right now, I could be in my PJs and you wouldn't even know.
uh, but okay. So what we are really here to do today is play 7 levels. So I'm going to take a second to explain level 7 levels, just in case people haven't
Mhm,
seen our previous videos. So essentially, I created 7 levels as an interview process for to help us to understand streamers and content creators a little bit better because while we're streaming, we don't always have the time to get really
mhm.
in depth into certain questions and to really explain certain things certain ways because the natural order of a stream life is like bam 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 bam, you got to do this, you got to do this.
Yeah, everything is snappy. Yep.
Right, everything's real fast, so you can't always linger on something for a long time. So I thought that I would create something that would enable us to take a second to slow down and really talk about the things that people would wonder about. And so what we do
Mhm.
is I have 7 questions for you, 7 levels, if you
Mhm.
would, and they are going to get progressively deeper as you go. And the first one will be very shallow, and the final
Mhm.
one will be kind of deep. And at the end of the day, I just hope we have a really great conversation. That's the only goal of today, is that you and I have a really great conversation. And you know what? If you're asking me, I think you and I have already
Mhm.
had a really awesome conversation. So I imagine it's only going to get better from here. So,
It's mutual. It's mutual. Mhm.
oh, thanks. So, Min, are
Mhm.
you ready for 7 levels?
No, I'm always ready.
Always ready, born ready. Okay, let's do
Yes.
this thing. Min, your first question of 7 levels. Question number one.
Sure.
What is your favorite day of the week?
Good question. Wow. Like hitting me with the hard stuff like right away. Okay, let me see. Do I have a favorite day? I guess it would be Mondays because I know on the contrary everybody hates Mondays,
Right, I
but
was just thinking that.
I
Yeah.
am okay with Mondays because it's my art jam days and where I get to hang out with one artist in my community and we can talk all like we can talk about anything under the sun and I can like really connect with the community,
Hmm,
you know, hear their thoughts and views. I really enjoy that. I like listening back and forth. Like I like to see bouncing um you know, people having discussions, like having actual talk because we don't do that in real life sometimes.
right.
Like we
Yeah.
don't have enough conversations in real life. So, you know, sometimes it's good to have a platform where people can discuss their ideas and stuff and like, you know, be themselves. That's what I my channel is surrounded around, being yourself. Even me, people think like, "Oh, you know, I'm just a persona." No. My persona online and offline, it's the same.
Mm.
Like I'm literally playing as myself. I told you this before.
Right.
I play as myself. I am 100% myself all the time. I don't know how to be anybody else. So, yeah.
And so you're
That's my
saying
favorite. Yeah.
those Mondays where you get to be yourself with somebody else, that is
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
that's your
my
favorite
favorite.
day. That's awesome. So I would ask you, what is like the perfect Monday? So obviously Art Jam is included in that because you just mentioned that.
Mhm.
But you stream 4 hours on Monday, right?
Oh, yeah. I stream 4 hours 3 times a week.
So what else adds to the perfect Monday other than Art Jam? Like
I would
maybe
say,
go ahead.
oh, okay, like, sorry, you were giving an example, so yeah, continue giving me examples. I need to
Well, I was
think.
gonna say like if you could imagine your day waking up on a Monday that was gonna lead to the best Monday you've ever had, what would it be like?
Oh, I actually had that happen like a few times already. Like,
Oh, awesome.
we're just having a smooth conversation. Everybody is being very interactive in chat. Everybody is talking. It is just the best because like I like it when everybody starts discussing and they're getting invested in the topic, you know. Some it could be anything random, you know. Like the other day, what were we talking about? Like we're talking about like anime tropes and stereotypes and stuff like that. Like, you know, like I remember saying like sometimes I talk out of my ass and I will say something like I wish there were more pretty girls in this like anime game, and like everybody in chat's like, but there are already many pretty girls in the anime industry, and I'm just like, oh yeah, you're right. So yeah, I love Mondays like that. People get invested, people talk, there's a back and forth. I like that.
Oh, good. So what I'm hearing from you is like the your favorite day is Monday, and the best Monday that you could have is a day where the community you care about is able to be social. And
Yes, yes.
I love it. I love it. That's great. Well, good job. That's the first level. You
Thank
passed
you.
the first level. Well done.
Bless. Thank you.
Second level. I've been waiting to ask someone this question for a couple interviews now. I've been holding on to it, but I'm gonna give it to you because I can't wait to hear what you say. Um,
Mhm,
level two of seven levels. If you could
mhm,
go anywhere in the world for 1 week for free, everyone would pay for like someone would pay for everything you do for a week. Where would you go,
mhm.
and what would you do?
All right. I know this is weird, but I want to go to AX. I want to go to Anime Expo in the US because a lot of my friends go there to, you know, have a booth to sell their artworks there, and I kind of want that as well. I just want to be amongst, you know, my fellow weeaboos. I just want to be part of the general community.
So
And also get to meet some of the people that watch me in real life.
that would that would be super cool. But like how would you tell people it's you? Like what would you do to like
I'll no, actually, I would probably troll everybody.
oh you think
Knowing
so?
me, I would probably troll everybody till it's the last day.
Like surprise, it's been me
Then
the
I'm
whole
there.
time.
Yes, haha, it was ideal.
Cool. So what where is that usually located?
I can't remember. Like
Probably
it's
in
been so long.
LA
I
or something
didn't.
like that.
Yeah, probably there. I think so. I can't remember, but I remember like that was like I saw a lot of photos and I saw like some of my friends going for it, and I was like, shit, I want to be there. I just want to be a part, you know, play a part in the community, show people my content, like really connect with other creators. That's what I like. I like connecting with people sometimes. Like we don't do that enough in real life.
Yeah, right.
So like yeah, like I like to do that. I like to I don't know, I'm a person who likes to observe people. I know it's weird, but like
Oh, I get
I
it.
think it's maybe it's like my job, like job hazards, you know, I don't know, like, you know, it's brought over in real life as well sometimes. Like I like to observe people and like their mannerisms and like, you know, I could be sitting at a bus stop and I will stare at a person for a while and look at what they're doing. Like I know that's kind of creepy, but
No,
listen,
I
okay?
get it. I
So
get it
like
completely. I get it.
like you see them standing there and you're like they're fidgeting, you know, looking at the way they fidget, the way they change, like, you know, change legs that they're resting on, you know, the way that they move, like, you know, sometimes they're in a rush, they'll start keep looking at their watches or their phone,
Hmm.
you know, and like there yeah, like a lot of I like to observe people and their mannerisms, and like in my head I'm forming stories about what they're doing, you know, what could be going on in their lives, and it's it's an artist habit, I feel, because I've been doing this since I was in college.
Mm,
And like because my teacher said to us like to do life studies is to study life itself.
mm,
To do yeah, to do life drawings, you have to study life itself to know the subject before you draw them. Art is a very personable thing, I feel. Like if you're not getting into the nitty-gritty, even if you're not going in depth, then like what are you doing? Is that really art? You
yeah.
know? So that's my view on art. Like I'm very passionate about it, and like everything I do in life like links back to art.
Mm,
So yeah, it's a weird spot for me. I remember like a few times where I'd be drawing people on the trains and they think I'm just being creepy.
mm.
Like, and I'm a girl, by the way. Like I'm a girl and they already find me creepy. Can you imagine what it would be like if I was a guy? Like
Oh yeah.
I'd probably get like the police escorting me out the train. But yeah, I was like drawing people, and like when they realize I'm drawing them, they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were being weird." And
Oh
I'm just
man.
like, "No worries, dude. I just wanted to draw you because, it's a thing I need to practice."
Here's your picture. Here, take it.
Yeah, take it. Like, yeah, I back in the day I used to draw in sketchbooks. Like, I would fill out like within a month I would fill out like a sketchbook. Every month has to be filled out with one sketchbook, right? Full of like studies. Like on the train, on the bus, anytime I have free, I will just sketch people
Mm,
to just get familiar with people's poses, the way people act, the expressions,
mm.
basically living life.
So, do you have like the perfect pencil? What's the best thing to draw with?
Oh, back in the day, I just used a normal graphite. I wasn't like, the kind of person that will, oh, you need the most expensive pencils. I freaking got the dollar store 2B pencil and sketched my way through college.
There you go.
And like occasionally I'll get a mechanical pencil, but then my art teacher would like, no, you shouldn't use a mechanical pencil, and I'm just like, but it looks good, whatever, I don't care.
Right? They're so handy. Like they have so much lead in
Like
them. Yeah.
whatever works, am I right?
Yeah,
Like
right.
as long as it looks good, who cares?
Right. Well, that's super curious. I would wonder if you ended up going to one of these what did you call it? Animation, what is it?
Yeah, Anime Expo. Yeah.
Anime Expo. Um, Obviously, you would love to meet the people who you've interacted with on in your channel and stuff like that. But is there
Yeah.
someone there that would be a little bit more like you would really hope you would get a chance to meet? Like maybe you know what I mean, like a tier higher
Oh,
than you. You know if that makes
oh my
sense.
goodness. There are so many artists that I'm big fans of, but I don't know. I have to see what the guest list is because
Right.
if like maybe, I mean, I've met Sakimi-chan once. Like she's cool and everything. I like her. But I think the next person that I want to meet that is like of like I consider like an art goddess or god would be oh my gosh, there's so many. Well, there's a lot of Japanese ones. I'm not sure about the Western one. Mm,
Mm.
I gotta think really hard for this because like there is somebody, but I can't for the life of me remember. My memory is just killing me. Let me see. Who was it? Remember there was this one guy
Are there any like other VTubers that you'd be really curious to meet in real person? Or you know what I mean?
in real life. Oh, definitely the Hololive EN VTubers. The Hololivers. I would like to meet Gura for very odd reasons, but it's just to appease my community who keeps calling me a shark for some I don't know what reason.
A shark?
But yeah. Yeah, they keep calling me a shark because I think it's because like my alerts for my subs is baby shark, and then after that you'll have like Smosh saying shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like That's a thing on my channel where people will donate just to irritate me with that Baby Shark song. I hate that song so much, but it actually gets a reaction out of me. That's why I left it there so that whenever somebody is in chat and they want to get my attention, that's the way to go.
That's the way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, just like blare Baby Shark in my ear, and I'll be like, "What the heck? Who did it again?"
Well, awesome. That is level 2 of 7 levels. How you feeling so far? You
Nice.
doing all right?
I'm great. I'm
Good.
great.
Good. Because level 3 is coming up. Level 3.
Oh,
Wait.
okay.
It's funny because level 4 actually relates a lot more to what you were just talking about. But
Uh,
I don't want to skip one because yeah. So, but just hold on to what you were just talking about. We'll talk about it here
all right.
in a second.
All right.
Okay.
All right. All right. All
But
right.
the third level.
Uh-huh.
What celebrity do you feel like you relate to the most?
So you talking about in real life or online?
I guess either way you want to go with it. Whatever you're more comfortable with.
Okay. Let me skim through my list of celebrities that I really like because there's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's some solid
the
celebrities
ones
out
I
there.
really the ones I really relate to.
I'm gonna pull up
I
Google
mean,
because I might have to see what you're
there's
talking
this
about.
guy. I mean, the guy who acts in Spider-Man. What's his name again? Tom.
Tom Holland.
Yeah, Tom Holland. He's kind of I like. That's a mood. He is an entire mood. Okay.
What do you mean?
He
How do you feel that way?
like sometimes you're just so excited about things like projects, you accidentally leak stuff out, and you're just like, oh shit, oops, that's my bad.
Okay, I understand that completely. Yeah, that's
That's
funny.
some mood. And then like they were like Marvel was like, who leaked this? Who leaked this? And they're like,
It's,
oh, it's me. I'm sorry.
it
I'm
was
sorry,
Tom.
mom.
It was Tom all along. Speaking of Tom Holland, the newest Spider-Man trailer just dropped like today, I think. Have you had a second to look at
Yes.
it?
I haven't yet. I heard like my partner actually like significant other actually shared it with me like that it's like they've gone live with it. I'm just like I gotta watch this soon, but I can't watch it now because I'm here.
Well,
I'll probably watch it later.
right after we're done with this, you need to watch it because it's pretty exciting.
I heard like a lot of like the old Spider-Man people are coming back, and I'm just like, yes,
Yeah.
Green Goblin, let's go.
Yeah, that's
And I'm
essentially.
obsessed with the Green Goblin. I don't know why. I don't know. He's like my favorite villain or something.
Oh man, one of the like those like it's so weird because I actually really like the second generation of Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield.
Mm-mm-mm.
And then Tom Holland's really good too. I actually didn't like what's his name, Tobey Maguire. I think that's his name. But
Mm-mm-mm.
but like the villains in the Tobey Maguire ones are really good. So it's like it's actually really
Yes.
interesting that like I'm lucky because I get the best of both worlds. They're bringing back all the villains I liked without bringing back Tobey Maguire necessarily, which is like I'm all right with that.
He might make a cameo. We don't know. That's the thing.
That is true. It is multiverse, so he could come through there.
Multiverse. The whole floor is open for endless possibilities.
Anything could
Just
happen.
endless. That's why I like Spider-Man because it's like the possibilities are endless. Different timelines, they just all get mixed together, and it's like a mess, but it's a hot mess.
It's so true. It's so true. Uh, so since like we're talking like Spider-Man, are you like a so I just asked you like which celebrity and you said Tom Holland, but is there like a
Hmm.
superhero you think you relate to?
A superhero. Interesting questions. I think I relate to Wanda.
WandaVision? Oh, all right,
Yeah,
sorry. I
Wanda,
just said
Wanda,
WandaVision
Wanda.
because of the show. But yeah,
Yeah,
Wanda
Wanda.
Maximoff, yeah. So you're insane is what you're telling me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I mean, we're all a little crazy, right?
Right. No, wow. Yeah, I mean, what do you how do you feel like you relate to Wanda?
I feel like the way she's so attached, like her bond with Vision,
Mm,
is something that I have with like my own partner as well.
mm.
Like there's this bond that's like it's weird, it's unbreakable, and like you don't know how you can function without them anymore. It's I don't know if it's codependency, but it's like it's a healthy one. It's a healthy one. I let me. It's a healthy one, okay?
Okay.
But it's like you like being with them so much. You don't know how you're gonna be without them. Being a part of them.
Yeah.
So that really speaks to me, and like I also am like I like the witchy vibes that she gives.
Mm.
Like I know I'm all pink and like rainbows, but like inside I'm still a goth kid. Everybody's a gone through a goth phase. Inside I'm still goth.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like, yeah, I had my little emo phase in high school too. So,
Yeah, we all had that phase where we
yeah,
just were black
yeah.
and
I still,
be like all sad.
I was like undercover though. I didn't wear all black, but I listened to all the emo music. Like, My Chemical Romance is like one of my favorite
Oh my
bands.
gosh, yes. Yes.
Like, it's all there. Like, I loved all that growing up.
Gerard
So,
Way. I love him. That's
yeah.
the other guy. That's the other celebrity I feel I relate to.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Gerard Way.
Hmm.
Yeah, I relate to him.
How do you
And I
think you
even
relate
remember
to
when I was like in high school, I was like I had a huge crush on him.
him?
But like I know that was impossible because like he's way older than me and like he's a celebrity. Like I'm just a shit stain under his shoe.
I I bet you I feel like I've seen enough about him. Like he probably doesn't feel that way about you. That like, he probably thinks you're awesome, even though he doesn't even know you because he,
Was a
he he seems pretty cool.
big fan of him. Like I was so obsessed with like his looks, his dressing, like the mannerism. I'm like, oh, I love this guy.
Did you prefer his white hair or his red hair?
I love both. I like how both he got like progressively bolder and bolder. I'm just like,
Right, and he just
yes, I
like
live for this man.
he like aggressively pushed them too, right? Like he had no
Yeah,
shame that he was wearing, you
it's
know.
like let's crank it up 100. Whoosh. Wet hair.
Yeah.
Bam.
He's like the emo kid equivalent of like going Super Saiyan or something like that. You know, he just keeps finding another
Yes.
level of emo.
Yeah, I know. Like I don't know his songs as a kid. Like I grew up listening to it. I know a lot of friends would say that it's cringe. Like in high school, I remember people were saying like because I was in a different, environment really. And like for me to listen to those music, everybody thinks that, I'm like this weird kid that likes to listen to songs with lyrics about like I was very into his lyrics. I was like, yeah, like the one what was that song called? Helen was it? Like the one
Helena,
where he's like
yeah,
he's okay. Yeah,
yeah,
I love that song. That
yeah,
was the
great
first
song.
song that like got me into his like music before Black Parade.
You're right.
And like I love that. I love the music video and I loved the way he portrayed the song. It was so emotional. I could feel it. And it's like, in my teenage heart I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so relatable." I mean, right now it's probably cringe, but like.
Yeah. What's that line is actually so strong. The like the hearse you died to get into. Like it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It's a good one. And then
That really hits home, like like because in high school you're so impressionable and like everybody is like forming cliques, groups. They
mhm.
they will do anything to be part of a group. But I was different. I didn't want to be a part of any groups. I was a lone wolf and I was bullied most of my middle school life.
Hmm.
In like elementary, I was always bullied. I remember being stabbed with a pencil in the back.
What?
But like legit, like I don't know why he did it, but like that was the first school before I moved. Yeah, like he stabbed me with a pencil and the lead still stuck in like the scar is still there. But yeah, I remember he stabbed me with a pencil and like blood broke in my skin and we had to like get it out and stuff like that. It was yeah, I was bullied a lot when I was a kid and
That's
in high
wild.
school I people tried to bully me. They tried. But the way I countered them was being weird.
Huh,
Like,
huh.
like people go into your face and are like, "Man, you're disgusting. You're gross." Blah blah blah. And I'm just like, "Shh, the voices, they can hear you. Don't say that." And then they'll be like, "Oh, okay, I'm backing off. I'm backing off. I'm sorry."
Oh, you're that kind of. Oh, okay, okay, yeah. No, oh
Yeah,
my
I don't
gosh.
like. I'm that kind of weirdo. Like in the classroom, I like people see me also as kind of like the lawyer of the class because like sometimes some of my friends who are troublemakers, they would do something stupid, but I can understand why they did it. So sometimes when I will stand up for people when I feel like they need to be stand up, like I need to stand up for them for, I will go forth, do that. And like I know a lot of teachers didn't like me. In high school, it's mostly the teachers who were forcing their authority on me. And I had a lot of problems with authority because they just I don't know why like you want to prove yourself to like an adolescent or a teenager. Like you're an adult. You're an adult. Why are you trying to prove your point to a teenager? Why is it so important? Like relax, you know? But at that point in time, like, I remember like trolling my teachers as well. Like one teacher in particular I had a problem with was she was teaching us like I remember I took like computer classes, so Excel spreadsheets, Word, uh, website building, like coding, some basic coding, not really too into in depth, but small coding here and there, like how to build a website and stuff. And I remember I love that class, but I hated the teacher.
Mm.
I love the class because I like doing hands-on stuff, and it was like one of my favorites. But I hated the teacher because she's like such a bitch. For a lack of a better word, she's such a B word. Okay, so she would like do things to pick on me, and like sometimes she would send out consent forms to for our parents to sign, but she would send them out late and my mom wouldn't sign them and I would get really pissed off because like she's giving me so much shit for it, right?
Mm.
And like she's always doing that. And like I remember one time I got so pissed off at her. I was in like it was like a break time, recess, and like I was with a group of friends and we were just I don't know in business eating lunch and like she's like I just like blurted out, "This woman's such a B word." Right? And then like one of the class pets went up to the staff room and like called her out and told her that I said that about her. And I was being quote unquote loud about it when I was just really talking to my friends, you know? And then like she came storming down to the canteen and she was like, "What did you call me?" And I'm just like, you know what you are."
Wow.
I'm such a rude child, but yeah, you know what you are. And she was like, uh yeah, what did you call me? Word for word. And I was like, "Oh, I called you a female dog." And then she was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have a word with your mom later, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Don't worry, do it. She thinks you're one too."
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
And then the other day I was talking to my mom, "Did you ever receive the call from the teacher?" She was like, "Yeah, she did call me, but you know, I didn't think that what you did was right." I'm like, "Yeah, don't worry. I think what I did was kind of like too much, but at the same time she pissed me off." It was justified yet not really. But like, I told like my mom said, "Yeah, but I told her kids are not stupid. They're not blind. Like especially at that age, they can see what's happening. So the reason why she felt that way is probably true." So my mom basically doubled down.
Dang. That is intense.
uh well,
So,
I heard from like my juniors after I left school, like I graduated, like they told me like when they brought out my name, she pretends like she doesn't know me. I'm like, good.
yeah, there's no way she's forgotten that day though. There's no way.
Probably. Who cares about her though? But yeah, like that was most of my teenage years. It was weird.
Hmm. So, did those I mean, so you're an artist, right? Like obviously,
Yep,
you're
yep.
clearly an
Mhm.
artist. Do you
Mhm.
think those formative years had
Mm-hmm.
in like I guess you would call it rebellion if you're like outside looking in, the rebellion you
Mm-hmm.
have for that is that in is that an artist's soul, or do you think that's like particular for you?
I mean, every artist is different. For me, I think because like my upbringing is what I mean, I've been taught to be a lot more vocal. When I don't like something, I'll tell you because that's just me. I mean, I had learning difficulties growing up, so I had to go for like therapy and stuff for it. Like I have dyslexia and like mild autism, and like and I'm not okay with something. I've always been told to like voice it out, like tell people why you don't like it, why you don't like that they're doing a certain thing to you. And that's what I always did, and like people didn't like that because I'm very,
Mm.
I don't
Blunt,
sugarcoat it. I don't like put a layer of like, I just say it as it is,
right? You're blunt.
right? I'll just like tell it to you like as it is. I don't, rephrase myself. Nowadays try to rephrase myself a little so I don't sound so harsh. It's part and parcel of growing up,
Would you
learning how
call
to
that maturity?
talk. Yeah, learning how to talk and learning how to, be accepting of others, like in their odd ass behaviors. I mean, I've always been accepting of people's odd ass behaviors, but I think that what really, when I really grew up, what really made me think I grew up was when, like some of the hardest shit that I've been through, I grit my teeth and I went through it. Like back in the day, old me would just guns blazing, fire at the world against me kind of attitude. But these
Mhm.
days, I don't have that attitude anymore. I'm just like, if we have a disagreement, I'll just be quiet, and if you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. But if you don't want to talk about it, whatever. That's how I approach a lot of things nowadays.
Hmm.
Like I talk lesser, but I also think more.
Hmm.
That I think that's maturity. Yeah.
Okay. So I would wonder, which this will help us segue into our next level. This last follow
Hmm.
up, yeah, man. This level 3, we've gone from which celebrity do you think you're like to all the way down to like
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's like off
no,
topic
I
sometimes, but
love
like,
this. I love this. This is everything to me. I love just talking to people. So this is perfect.
oh,
But
thank you, thank you.
yeah. So I am curious though. Do you think um your growth in social maturity
Hmm.
has changed your artistic creativity?
Oh, definitely. I've also matured as an artist.
Oh.
Like I remember being that kid who, you know, online people give you criticism, and you're like, no, my art's the best shit that has my art's the best shit since sliced bread. You know, I was that kid.
Yeah,
It's my style. It's
yeah,
my style. You don't get it, right?
yeah.
Like I threw that attitude out the window because it does not fly with anyone. I learned that the hard way.
Hmm. Well, great.
But then like I learned that a really hard way because like I remember someone really gave it to me real, like looked me in the eye and told me I was being a little shit. And I was like, I stopped for a second. I reflected on it, and I was like, I guess you're right. I was being a little shit. So I adapted the attitude of like asking for criticism and being open about it. Oh, I think I knew who told me that. I think it was my mom. Yeah, because I remember she insulted my art because my mom's okay. She's got very Asian parenting, so
Okay.
the way she insults my art is like really go ham. Like no, all the stops.
Okay.
No sugar coating. Just tell you to your face. It's shit. It belongs in the bin. That's literally word for word what she told me, and I was like, "But mom, it's like I work so hard on this." Blah, blah, blah. She's like, "It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you work hard. It's how optimal you're being. You're not being optimal. You need to be open to criticism."
Wow.
And I was like, "Okay, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I'm being a little shit."
Wow, incredible. That's interesting. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna save that follow up question for the next tier because, oh gosh, I have so much. You're giving me so much to work with, which is a great thing.
I know I'm very responsive. Like I've been told that like by my grandparents, and like what reason why like my grandparents like me so much is because like I'm very responsive. Other children will just ignore them or like, but I'm very responsive.
No, yeah. You're giving me so much to work with, but I'm gonna somehow work that last thing that I just thought of into this next question.
Mhm.
But congratulations, that was the third level. Are you ready
Mhm.
for the fourth level?
Sure, sure.
If
Let's
you
go.
pass this,
I'm
this is
pumped.
the halfway mark. And I actually wrote this question specifically for you because I was watching your VOD back.
Mhm.
And it was literally yesterday's VOD. The latest VOD that I was able to see when I was watching, and you said a phrase that really piqued an interest in me. You were like,
Mhm.
"Oh, it's so funny," because you mentioned this in your DMs. You were talking about how you were thinking about Powerpuff Girls. So,
Mhm.
and then in that VOD that I was watching, you actually brought an old sketch, an old art that you had done
Mhm.
of the Powerpuff Girls, and you said something very interesting that's going to spark the question that I have for you. You said, "My style used to be so weird." Uh, and that
Yeah.
and that's literally something you said. So, first question, just for context, you don't have to explain too much about it. How old was that sketch that you brought up of the Powerpuff
Oh
Girls?
wow, that was when I was still in my teens. I was 17, 18.
17 ages. So probably like almost 10 years old, probably, right?
Yes. Yep.
Wow. Okay. So, uh, interesting. Okay. So then I would wonder if you think that art is that style was weird. Then my question for you
Mhm.
now is, what influences your personal? Okay, I'm sorry. This is basically a three-part question. So
Okay, sure.
buckle up.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
What influences your personal art style currently? What influences your genre's style?
Uh-huh.
And how do those styles collide for you? So what's the correlation? Essentially, I'm asking you to tell me what the correlation between your artistic style and the genre you're in as a VTuber and as a content creator that is in art,
Mhm.
based on like the culture that is around being a what would you call it, like I know you do commissions for streams and stuff like that, but also you
Yep,
have your
yep.
like, yeah, so all that put together, and then how does it collide into like just your art that you make?
Okay, I have a lot of influence from anime, of course.
Okay.
A lot of my influences come from this artist in Japan called Mika Picasso. She is a VTuber designer for some of the VTubers I really like. One being K-pop, the second one being Kaguya Luna, and now she designed that rat VTuber in Hololive. Yeah. So she's my biggest source of inspiration at the moment because I really love her style and I think she's great. Yeah, I like she's my art god as well. So yeah, I look
Okay.
up to her a lot. And I take elements of her style that I like and I mix it into my own style to develop something else. Like, if I like a certain way that she shades, I will take that.
Okay.
That's what I do with a lot of artists that I find on the internet that I think like I like this style. I'll take the thing that I like about this style, I'll put it in my work and see how it works out. right? If it doesn't work, I'll tweak it till it works. Or if it
Mm.
really doesn't really work anymore, like I'll just throw it out and I'll get something new and refreshing. And then
Mm.
I'll do the same thing again. It's like a jigsaw puzzle, kind of, with like my own base style in there. Like according to my community, it's not by me. I'm not boosting my own ego. But um, they said that when they look at my art, there's a certain style to it that they would know that I drew it.
Mm.
Like there's a look in the art that, tells them, oh, Min drew this. So I don't know what it is. I still haven't figured out what that is or why people say that. But yeah, I do take like bits and pieces from everyone. I'm like a jumbled mess of a I'm like a Frankenstein thing, like
Mhm.
it's this artist's rendering style, this artist's line work style put together and create me kind of thing.
Mm.
Yep.
Interesting. So, how would you say so like that seems like the first part of the question, which is like what
Yep.
is your influence? So, like what is your art? But how would you say where do you fit in? Well, no, I mean, no, I guess that works. Where do you fit in your genre? Like because as a VTuber, there's obviously there's in a weird way there's almost going to be a meta as VTuber.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? Like
Mhm. Mhm.
there's gonna be certain designs and animations that are gonna work more than others in an
Yep.
animation
Yep.
sense. Where do you think you are gonna fit into this genre?
I really have no idea because like I'm so versatile with everything. Like I could go anywhere. I believe in I like versatility. That's something that I've been working towards. Like any style you throw at me, I'll just do it.
Mm.
Realism, semi-realism,
Mm.
you know, cell shading, anime style,
Mm.
anything. You throw it at me, I'll try it. I'm that kind of person. I'm open to learning and I'm open to possibilities. That's that like bringing it back to my point why I like the Spider-Verse so much is because the possibilities are endless.
Mm.
I don't like to stop myself at something because like I read somewhere once like someone great once said um the only thing that limits you is yourself. So I'm not going to limit myself. I'm going to try everything under the sun. No matter how
Wow.
weird, how obscure, I'll just do it because why not? Like
Why not?
learning is forever.
Yeah, why not?
The
Yeah,
more knowledge I gain, the better I become. So why not?
I love that. That might be like one of my favorite quotes I've ever heard. Learning is forever. I love that. That's great.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you're 50, 80, 70, 100. You're bound to not know something.
Yeah,
Never say no to knowledge,
right.
Be wise and just take in whatever you can while you can.
Especially because like literally like 10 years ago like the concept that like a lot of people would be able to be like anyone who actively pursued it would be able to be a VTuber. That's like
Mhm.
insane, right? Only like probably 10 years ago, like maybe only like 0.0001% of the world would be able to figure out how to do that, right? Like how to like
Yep.
code something that isn't them that interacts as them into something else, right? Like very minimal.
Yep.
And
Yep.
now here we are to where it's still not the easiest thing. I could not figure it out for sure. But we're getting to that point where there's more and more things that is in the same category, or not category, I should say, in the same learning curve as V2, like
Mhm.
as being a VTuber, like for
Right.
us to figure out. So
Mhm.
that's pretty incredible. I love it. I think you might have just given me one of the most inspirational things I've ever heard. Learning is forever. We're gonna keep going because it's like,
Mhm.
what's the next thing? What's the next thing that you can learn as a VTuber? Even right? Like there's like
Yeah, the sky's the limit. Like do
right.
whatever you feel is best for you. Like another person also told me this a long time ago. you can be a better version of yourself every day.
Mm.
So you're
So
only
true.
gonna get better. Like you might be shit in shit in the dumps in the dumpster, you know, in your lowest point in life, but you will get better. It will only get better. These are things that mold you into who you will be. Like things that actions are things that will mold you to your future and will like lead you segue you into what you want to become. And if you stop and give up at this point, then you're really just disappointing yourself. You're not
Mm.
disappointing anybody else. You're disappointing yourself because you don't have what it takes. I mean, it's fine to give up, but only give up when it's really like there's no other option for you.
Yeah.
Like that's when you call quits. Like, it's either you're on your deathbed or you're in some kind of predicament that is like you lost an arm or something or a leg, something that really bothers you or will affect you in whatever. But even then, right? Unless you're on your deathbed, try something new. Like I haven't always been, you know, art is just something I love to do, right? I made it into a business, but before I made it into a business, I also had a period where I had to go learn other things in order to make this a business.
Mm-hmm.
Like how to manage my finance, how to market myself,
Mm-hmm.
how to do a lot of things that is not art related,
Mm-hmm.
like, looking for clients, that kind of stuff. It's not art related. I mean, math is my least favorite subject. I failed it in school, but I had to grit my teeth, learn how to calculate costing and everything in order to survive where I am right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, it was a lot put into it.
Yeah.
Like I've worked in a lot of jobs that are not art related. I know it's kind of like when people hear that I worked as like some of the most mundane shit ever, they're just questioning like why, and like my reasoning, like, I used to work for a print shop because I wanted to learn how to size my stuff for printing, merchandising. You need to know how to print your stuff. You need to know dimensions. You need to know what is the offset, like, how many, if a printer cut, like if you print something and it comes out off, like how much off can be tolerated, how much bleed space you need for the printer to cut off, because sometimes people give us stuff and then they put it too close to the edge, it gets chopped off, and then they get pissed off, and then we're like, we told you, but you don't do anything about it. So that was like printing. And then I went into opening my own business in a school canteen to learn finances.
Mm.
I know it's kind of weird,
Oh, that's
but I
not
learned
weird.
how to do costing. I learned how to do costing from doing that. Like the price of ingredients, what I need, how much I need to survive for a week, how much I need to how much you need to invest in order to earn a certain amount. Like what is proper investments to make. Like I remember in the canteen we were like, me and my business partner were like discussing like, what would be a good investment. We were like thinking about equipment and stuff like that, like what a waffle maker like make things better. And yes, it did make a lot of things better. And like we were earning quite a bit from this thing because like we planned our steps, right? And like a lot of the stalls like next to us were jealous and they tried to like kick us out and stuff.
Mm.
So that was also pretty interesting to deal with. Yeah, and like I remember we learned from our competitions, but our competition were kind of toxic because they're all like older boomers who
Okay.
are like,
Yeah.
you know, who are these little shits turning up and stealing our customers? And I'm just like, it's planning. It's all about the planning. If you don't have a plan, you go in, you dive in head first. You're not gonna get the most out of what you're doing.
Mm.
And my goal is to get the most out of what I'm doing. So that was like my business move in that scenario.
Mm.
And then yeah, and then after that I worked in an otaku They're all really unrelated jobs. They're like, why the heck do you have the most random jobs? I know. Like, I worked in an otaku store because I wanted to know what was popular in the market.
Hmm. Wow, you're so like
So,
strategic. Like you really think about a lot of this stuff.
yeah, because I want to learn. If I want to learn something, I don't just learn for the frick of it. Like, I gotta get something out of it. I gotta grab something out of it. If I'm not grabbing anything out of it, I'm wasting my time. Like my mom said, it has always sticked with me for like life. You can be hardworking, but are you being optimal? Are you being logical, practical, and realistic?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be realistic about your goals. You can have goals. It's good to have goals because you work towards that. It's motivation.
Mm-hmm.
But don't waste your time doing things that are not gonna get you anywhere.
Yeah. Man, I think that is a really important lesson for the people who might watch this video, who want to invest in potentially like streaming or content creation. This idea of optimal creation, like it's like a very
Like, be realistic. Like, you don't have to have the like vitamins started off with like what a table on the floor,
right. Yeah.
essentially
Yeah.
a chair and table on the freaking floor. He
Right.
started with that, and look where he is right now. Like,
Right.
you don't need the best equipment. You can upgrade as you go. You don't have to buy everything off the bat. Oh, I need a stream deck. I need a good mic. I Okay,
Right.
maybe a good mic would be good.
Mics are pretty important, but I get what you're saying though. Like, it's
Yeah, like, think
the
about it. Like,
effort. It's the effort you're
people
putting
always say
into it,
like,
the
"Oh,
little that you have.
streaming is so expensive." Blah blah. Yes, it's expensive if you buy everything at once. It is expensive if you buy everything at once. But if you strategize what you buy,
Hmm.
it's not gonna be so taxing on your wallet. It's something I did it myself. Like, I didn't used to sit on this comfortable gaming chair. Okay, the fact that I'm sitting on this comfortable gaming chair is because like it's a reminder of my hard work. I paid good money for this thing.
Yeah,
Money
exactly.
that I made off my art. Like, this was the first time. Like, this chair was bought with the first commission I took that was big, and it earned me quite a bit, and I was so happy about it. I went and bought me a proper chair because I was sitting on a foldable stool.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Foldable plastic stool that was poking my ass. It was hurting me so badly, and it was like screwing with my back. I remember standing up and having like all the back aches, and I was like,
Right.
I feel like I'm 80.
Yeah, the chair can make a huge difference for sure. But
Yes,
but
and
what you're
then like,
saying is
yeah,
very, very, very true. Like, man, there's this false perception of investment, right? It's not, you don't invest your money to succeed in your goal. You sometimes it takes money, but that's not what you should be looking to invest. You invest your efforts, and
that's right. That's right.
sometimes your efforts cost some things. Um, and
Exactly.
yeah, that's huge. Um, well, um, that's level 4. That's the halfway mark. We are on pace to have our longest episode of this so far. You have 3 more questions left. So
Sure.
I'm gonna try to make quick work of these next 3 questions because I don't want to keep you on here for too long because I know you got a stream coming up. But
And
how are
no
you
worries.
feeling?
I already informed my community.
Oh, you already let them know. Oh wow, that's so sweet of
Yeah,
you.
I already let them know that like I'm like, that's something I learned as well. Like, taking like responsibility. You have to take streaming to a certain level of seriousness. You gotta inform people. It's like, if you're going out of the house, you're gonna say bye to people, right? That's
Yeah,
a logical thing to do. It's the same thing here. It's like, if I'm gonna be late, I'm gonna tell my friends that I'm gonna be late. It's like a hangout session.
yeah,
Like, if I call you out, like, hey, let's hang out, right? Like, let's hang out in the mall. And if I'm gonna be late, I have to tell you, like, I have to call you like at least 10 minutes before and tell you, hey, I something came up. I'm gonna be like a little bit late. So
wow.
if you don't see me at the expected timing, just know that I'm slightly late because this happened.
That's
That's all.
man, you're
It's
dropping knowledge
responsibility.
bombs. That's like I've never thought of it that way. That's actually a very wow. I've never thought of it that way. Yeah, but I think that's very true. You should treat your chat like the same way you would treat
Your
a an
friends.
obligation. Yeah, like
Yeah.
some kind of commitment that you have. That's good stuff. Um. Okay. Fifth level. I'm super curious to hear what you say about this. Because
All right.
this is a deep VTuber question. This is the one I warned you about a little earlier
All
ago.
right.
Um,
Mhm.
what is the fine line, or maybe it's the thick line, I don't know,
Mhm.
between animosity and deflection? So, in other words, um, right now we've had this interview and we've been talking for an hour.
Mhm.
There's a chance I actually still don't know anything about you because I you know what I mean? You could have been playing this persona on me this whole time, and even though you've affirmed with me that you are this person, I will never
Mhm.
actually know until
Mhm.
until I am able to confirm that. So what's
I mean,
the
yeah, I agree. Like I always tell this to people as well. What you put out is what I know. What
okay?
you tell me is what I know. I'm gonna take you for your word. you know. But it's good that you asked this question because like before I became a VTuber, I was also in the cosplay scene,
Oh,
and a lot of people were like saying things like escapism.
oh
There
yeah,
were a lot of these kinds of words being thrown around in the community. Escapism, false sense of
self.
confidence and self worth, which are very valid statements as well. I'm not saying they're not valid, but like what is misunderstood about it is like I see it as a performance art. It's still a form of art. It's just like performing on a stage,
Hmm.
like a theater. Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like that. So it's the same thing with I feel I carried into VTubing, which is like I may be putting on a costume, quote and unquote, a costume, but baseline I'm still me. My values still stand. I'm not a character.
Hmm.
It's like cosplaying. You're not the character. You're not the character. You're just cosplaying them because you like them, right?
Hmm.
Right. A lot of like I don't know. Maybe people in in your chat will understand what I'm talking about. Like I'm pretty sure they're in the pop culture scene. So like, let's say you dress up as Captain Marvel. Do you actually think you're Captain Marvel?
Hmm. I mean,
Are
no.
you actually
Yeah.
No,
No. Yeah. Right.
exactly.
Like
No.
no. yeah.
Like for me, I'm dressed as a magical girl, but am I actually a magical girl?
No.
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 I'm very human. I make human mistakes. I am a living breathing human, right? Same thing. Behind a VTuber model is a human
Hmm.
that is powering it. So it depends on what the person behind it wants to let you know. Information can be limited. Like I may be open to you,
Hmm.
but I can't say the same for the other VTubers because they might have things in their life that they find, I don't want to talk too much about. Like
Hmm.
it's too, you know, it's not me, or they want to separate themselves. It's like separating your life, putting your life in a box, right?
Hmm.
Like, okay, I know this sounds weird, but like in Japanese culture, right? Or in Asian culture actually, we have different faces, right? The face that is at home with our family,
Oh, okay.
the face that is outside to our coworkers, and the face that is to strangers. So that's like different segregations of
Okay.
how it works, right?
Okay.
So my face towards my family, I play the role of a daughter. But how I play the role as a streamer might be different from the way I play a role as a kid, as someone's child.
Hmm.
How I play the role might be different for like let's say a client. Because certain situations can cause you to react a certain way, right? So, like, let's say I'm talking to a client, right? I'm not gonna be so casual like this because there's still that barrier. This is work, right? I have to be professional. I have to show my most professional front and not make the client angry because I need them to pay me, right? I
Right.
don't want them to run away, right?
Right.
So I have to have this professional front, which is basically I call it the customer service phase, right?
Okay.
Like it's like retail. I've worked retail, so I know this. Like customer service, right?
Right.
You gotta show it, you gotta smile, greet your teeth. Like these people can be so rude to you, but you can't show that you're affected. You have to be on top of your game. Like someone can like insult me and like, like, hey, you're more expensive than this person. I'm just like, I'm glad you value the other artists' works. What I'm saying to them is I appreciate that you value another artist's works more than mine. That is absolutely okay. Um, go ahead and do what you think is best for you. But really, sometimes inside, I'm just like, well, screw you too, right?
Right.
I'm just saying, what I
Mm.
say on the outside might not be what I'm thinking, but at the same time, I'm doing it because work. Because if I actually say screw you to that customer, it's gonna speak more about me than the customer, right? I
Right.
mean, it's a pretty shit thing for them to do to compare me like this, but if I return the shit with more shit, it doesn't do it. It's counterproductive. It doesn't solve anything, right?
Right.
So same thing
Yeah.
here, where I say there's like deflection and everything. I think it's more of like what the individual feels. It's an individual thing. Like if you feel a certain way, if you start feeling like you're losing your sense of reality, you can't tell the difference between yourself and like your VTuber character that you create, then you need to seek help. You need to stop for a second, think about your actions, and then look at how you can move forward from here. It might be a problem that you need to fix. It may be just you embracing that, it is what it is, right?
Mm.
I'm the way it is. So how I stay on like, like to segregate my life, like I said, put my life in boxes. Different reactions go to different compartments.
Mm.
This is something I actually learned from therapy because I told you I have mild autism and like sometimes I have to segregate my emotions.
Mm.
I have to separate my emotions and what I'm feeling from the situation because the situation is presented to me like this, but it could have 10 different outcomes, right? And if I react how there are 10 different reactions to everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I could be angry, I could be surprised, I could be shocked, I could be, whatever. But at that moment, I have to segregate my thoughts. If I can't come up with an answer immediately, I'll tell people to wait. And if they can't wait, well, that's a them problem, not a me problem.
Oh. Okay. Wow.
So, however I react after this, I've warned you. If I don't react appropriately, that's on you, not me. Because I told you to wait. And if you can't wait for me to give you a response, then is it really my fault? No,
No.
because I warned you.
Right.
I told you not to do it. You went ahead and you did what you need to do. So, yeah, no. That's not going to fly with me.
Wow. That is such an honest version of boundary setting. Like I don't know if I've ever heard like social boundaries being
Oh, yeah,
set in such
I
an
set up
honest
a
way.
lot of boundaries. Like with chat, I always tell them, you can go ham, you can let your hair down, do whatever the heck you want. But remember, freedom comes at a price. If you're doing something stupid and you irritate me for even a second and you get timed out, that's on you because I warned you.
Hmm.
I tell you, there are rules set for a reason, and if you can't follow those rules, you need to look at yourself.
Hmm.
You need to take a big old mirror, look at yourself, and ask yourself, why did you do this?
So
Right?
I
Huh.
no, like definitely 100%. I think a lot of I think I've seen some like, I mean, I'm not gonna act like I'm a big streamer, but I think I've seen smaller streamers like myself who seem to be like afraid to have that such a clear and fine threshold, right? Like as in like this is
Mm-hmm.
the line and you very well can cross it, and if you do, there
Mm-hmm.
is repercussions because like they, it's such a what do you call it, a
It's
consuming.
very assertive, yeah.
Yeah, and so like they want people to consume their content, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
they're afraid if they set any boundaries at all, that then if they're assertive in any way at all, that people will just not consume the content. And but like, so it's super interesting to think like people really just need to like care more about how healthily people consume their content. How like
I mean, yeah, you're gonna be doing this for a long time. You need to think about your own mental health. You
yeah,
need to put you first because nobody else is gonna put you first. They're
yeah.
gonna put their feelings and themselves first. Like, if you don't put you first, then everybody's just gonna walk all over you like a doormat.
Mm.
You're gonna be the welcome entrance into whatever comes next.
So let me just clarify something real quick. If I had never streamed before
Uh huh.
and I was going to become a VTuber, and
Yep.
my I had this concept of this persona, and the idea
Mhm.
behind this persona is something that isn't actually something true to me, but more something that I long to be. Would you recommend that I
Right.
actually pursue that persona as a first time streamer?
For me, first and foremost, I will um I will say that I'm it's up to you because number one, you're an adult. I can't tell you what to do, what is right and what is wrong. You know for yourself
That's fair.
what is right and what is wrong. You gotta touch deep into your heart. If you say you want to do this thing, touch your heart and ask yourself, how much am I willing to commit to this?
Mm,
How much am I going willing to commit to this character that I portray? Can I do it? If I can't hold this character up and I'm break, then don't do it. Because the last thing you want to do is break character. Because if you break character, you're gonna get a lot of shit. Unfortunately, the internet just
mm.
works that way. It's
Okay.
toxic, but sometimes life is balanced. There's necessary evils that need to take place for people to learn. Unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Mm,
So I would say that if you're in fact, if you say that you're a first time person and you want to go into VTubing, I'll ask a lot of other different questions as well, like financially, where are you?
mm.
Right?
Yeah.
Are you stable enough for this? Are you sure you want to do this? Are
Very
you going to into
realistic
this full time,
questions. Yeah.
full time, part time? You know, on as and when you feel like it, or are you going to do this like serious? If you're taking this seriously, I expect 110 from you. If you're not, you can't give me 110. You can't give me concise answers. Like you're so sure you're gonna do this, then don't do it.
Mm,
Don't commit to something you can't pull, because you're gonna hurt yourself and the people around you.
yeah, for sure.
And that's something I always tell people. Like, you want to be a VTuber, you want to be a full time artist, you can't. But first of all, as much as I say go with your passion, passion only brings you so far. You need the financials to fuel your passion.
Yeah.
So you need to be stable first in order to go forth and do what you want to do.
Right.
It's the same with everything, not just VTubing, streaming as well. You got to see where you are at.
Right. Yeah.
If you can barely afford rent or food, why are you doing this?
Right. Yeah. So true. And that's like, yeah, like you said, it's not just with streaming. That's with any hobby that you're trying to monetize, right? It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Like cosplay as well. Like I've seen a lot. Okay, I've seen a lot of people go into cosplay without checking their finances, and they go into huge debt because they can't pay the artists that are creating their props, their costumes. They went into it without, checking financially, am I okay? Like who's fueling this? And then they end up in wrecking debts, and then they get canceled for it, and then this whole drama happens. And it's like, before you start, like, I used to think like, why do you, because I'm a person who don't like to owe people things, right?
right.
Doesn't matter money or
Yeah.
like,
It doesn't feel good.
favors. I don't like it. Like people can owe me favors. Like people can owe me favors, but I cannot owe people favors. I know it's kind of weird, but yeah, like people can owe me favors, but I can't owe them favors because I don't know. That's just not how the world works. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I prefer it to be the other way around, like because like I don't feel good, and like it bugs me, and like I'm always, it's like in the back of my mind, the back burner. I don't like to owe people favors. I hate it.
Yeah.
And like when I see people like that wrecking up debts and owing people money because they wanted to pursue a hobby that they cannot afford, in my mind I'm like, why? Why do you give yourselves this unnecessary stress for a couple of clicks and clout? Is it worth it? Is it worth it to be labeled as a
Right.
serial borrower that doesn't return money? Like, why? Why do you do that to yourself, right?
Right. Yeah. Man. Yeah. Don't even get me started on that. Right. Like, yeah. I've known some people that I've always just wondered, like, what are you thinking about this? You know what I mean? So,
Like, yeah, I
that's
don't get it. Like, how do you go around g- getting money from everybody and then like owing everybody money? It's like,
right. It's
does
what.
that make you feel good? Like, what's the thrilling part about this? I don't understand.
I guess in a weird world, there's like some level of community that they have in their mind that justifies that kind of action as like the same way like you're saying like I would freely give to anyone that needs it as long as I have the ability to. Like you would probably say you would do that, and for them, they see that on their end as like, yeah, I would do that, so I don't mind asking that of people. But like for like, so you and I relate on the same ways. Like, no, I would just never ask anyone to do that because that sounds like crappy to do that. But yeah, that's yeah,
Yeah, I mean, for me, okay, and and this is another thing to the people who lend this money to them. Like, part of you has to be ready that you won't get this money back,
right. If you
right? I
yeah,
mean,
if you know they're not like that, or I mean, sorry, if you know they are like that, then yeah, you need to.
even if you didn't know, like, if someone really straight up comes up to you and asks you for $1,000, like, if you're not ready to give that money, or if you had money at that point in time to give it to them, you should have like this small amount. Okay, I mean, it's justified that you're angry that you don't get your money back, right? But there has to be this small amount of skepticism that this person isn't going to give you this money back.
Yeah,
Can you afford this long term?
yeah, that's true.
Is what I would think. And for me, I'm one person who, if I give you money, I don't expect you to give it back.
I
Because I mean, for me, it's like I take it as like, I'm doing a good deed.
yeah,
You know, you need it more than me, so I'm just giving it. Of course, if you ask me for 1,000, I'm gonna look at you like you're crazy.
yeah.
I'm gonna be like, seriously, what are you doing with your life?
Because at that point, yeah,
Okay,
you would call that enabling, right? Like if you like just start giving people
yeah,
stuff like that, that's
you
just
just
like
give them like,
enabling.
yeah. For me, like I have a few friends who they live the college life, and they are, they have debt, they have other piling things. They don't have enough to survive sometimes. And jobs nowadays are hard, especially in the pandemic and everything. So, I remember, like, I have a friend who she wasn't working back then, and she was forced to move out. Her parents were giving her a lot of shit, and like chasing her out during a pandemic is crazy. But yeah, that's what her parents did.
Hmm.
Chased her out of the house. She had nowhere to go. I gave her my other friend's contact. That was pretty affordable rent, and she stayed there for a while. But then another friend came by who needed some. I don't know. She was looking for a roommate. I don't know why she accepted this, but this is another example of why I say you have to look out for yourself first and set some boundaries, because she didn't do that. And it turned around and bite her in the ass really badly. So she rented this room with her friend. I would say they were friends at that point in time. Obviously, I'm telling you this because they're not friends anymore, and this is why they're not friends anymore. Okay,
Okay.
and it's a really good lesson to learn. Okay, I tell this to a lot of people to learn from this, because so stupid, and I it's so unnecessary. And what happened was, this friend, okay, she was working a job. My
Okay.
my friend was also working a job, but it was like a lesser paying job. It's
Okay.
not like a great pay. It's just the minimum wage. Okay, we'll just put it as that.
Okay.
And so this friend was like, "Oh, let's go look for houses, right?" So they went to look for houses. I don't know why the crazy friend of hers was like, let's move into this condominium that is about 1.9K a month.
Oh gosh.
Bruh! First of all, you're not working like the best job in the world. Okay, first of all. Second of all, like, what are you thinking? You're living in a comfortable living space. Why are you moving out to live in a expensive unit? Why?
Yeah. Mm.
Right? What is going through her head? I don't know. To this day I still don't know. But the minute I know, it means that I'm on the same level, and I don't want to be that.
Oh man.
So, like, she just says, "Okay, let's bunk in together in this really expensive condominium complex." And with the flimsy excuse of, "I need security." And like half the time I don't see the security guards anywhere. I don't see any guards in the front of house. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, security where?
Yeah.
There's only a gate blocking you, and if someone goes in, people can sneak in. Are you out of your mind?
Yeah. Some people do anything to justify that kind of stuff, you know?
Like
Which
like
goes back to like what we were just talking
becomes,
about too, you
yeah, it
know?
becomes a like, do you want to flex to your friends that you live in a condominium? Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you trying to do? Like, are
Yeah.
you trying to flex?
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, you have no money to flex. Stop it.
Yeah, right. But like
Right?
you're exactly right. And like as I was saying, that goes back to exactly what you mentioned earlier. Like when we were talking about vitamin action, like people literally um will like try to flex their stream setup, right?
Yeah.
Like look, I got this thing back here. It looks kind of cool, right? If you saw what I'm looking at right now, you'd be like, "Oh my gosh, what is this crap going on?" Like, right? But some people like need, like, even though they're like streaming to like 5 people at a time, have like I saw a TikTok today where this guy was like, he was making fun of himself, which is good. I'm glad he can make fun of himself to do this. But he was like, I spent $4,000 so that I could have a fancy screen to look at Discord with. You know what I mean? Like he's like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's that same process that you're talking about, and that's tough. That's tough. So I hope that with that question of like what's the fine line between animation and deflection, that people can come to realize that
Like even if you're not an avatar, people still deflect
yeah,
as well. Like like
right,
my friend here who chose to live in an expensive apartment instead of living comfortably where she was financially,
right,
right?
right,
Like so what? You gain all the luxury in the world and you're not comfortable. What's the point? You're stressed.
right. Yeah, what's the point? You're stressed. What's the point of like, and if you're using VTubing to like create this identity, like that's like it doesn't change the fact that you got to get paid. You know, you got to go get some money. You got to do some
Yeah,
stuff.
you have to do something actionable, right? Yeah,
Right.
that's something I learned recently as well. My partner likes to use it on me. Do something actionable, yes.
Mm,
Do something actionable, right?
actionable.
Instead of brooding over things that you can't control. Like, let's say, I sometimes I'm human, okay? Like, there are friends who have who I've totally not contacted anymore because they're on a different they feel that I feel that they feel that they're on a different level from me, like with like the partner streamer and everything. I've seen friends
Mm,
fall out over that.
yeah.
It's that purple tick that makes the world go round, apparently. And like apparently it gives you this fake sense of like self-worth, that means you aren't worthy enough if you don't have that partnership
Yeah.
thing. But really, essentially, all being partner is about is having better quality, like people can watch your streams in higher definition, and like you get extra emote slots and like just animated emotes, which really isn't anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's not like you're being paid 100 more bucks or something.
Yeah.
you know it doesn't translate to cash, so it's like, what do I want this for?
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's a personal accolade, and if you worked hard enough to get it, you should get it. You know, but
Yeah, if
it
you worked
shouldn't change
hard,
anything between you and
sure,
your
but like
friends.
it shouldn't change like how you are as a person. But I've seen it affect people. Like
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
they believe that they're on a higher plane of existence because they have a purple tick.
Right.
And I'm just like, no, you're still very human behind that VTuber. You're still very human.
Right.
Like, you still bleed if you cut yourself, you know? If you fall, you cut yourself, you bleed. We bleed the same color, you know?
Mm,
Why are you acting like you're above everyone else? You're not,
right.
you know? Just because you managed to get that, like, I mean, kudos to you. I'm happy for your success. But what
Right.
I'm not happy about is that you
You're different
behave a
now.
certain way. Yeah, like oh, it's a classic story of like, I'm famous now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't know how to tell you, like, you're a VTuber avatar, like offline in real life. You may be like all this popular people, all these popular people, you're like top of the food chain, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in real life, does your family value you? Does your friends in real life value you?
Do you value
Where on the
yourself?
scale?
Like, do you
Yeah, do
value
you
yourself?
value yourself? Like,
Yeah.
where are you on the scale in real life? Remember reality. You still live in reality. Not everything is online.
Well, Min, I don't know how you manage. Hey guys, this is Line from the future. Just wanted to cut this in here because I forgot to mention our 6 level sub challenge. And that's right. If you are the first person to watch this video and go back to Minimal Arts Twitch page while they are live and post in their chat, I made it to the 6th level, they will DM me and I will gift you a sub to their community. Or if you already a sub, I will gift one free sub to the community. So yeah, let's get back to the video. See you guys. Min, I don't know how you managed to do this, but you actually just gave us the perfect segue for level 6. So
All right,
here's level 6. Are you ready for this?
let's go.
Level 6. What is the most true thing a person can know about themselves?
Most true things. Okay, elaborate on that.
So, like, a person might think a lot of things about themselves. A person might wonder a lot of things about themselves. But at the end of the day, what is the most true thing a person could know about themselves? So,
I guess like
okay, go ahead.
how you are as a person. Like I don't know. Self-awareness is not everybody's suit, you know.
Right, yeah, it definitely isn't. Which is why I think this is like a hard question. I think this is why I think this is a 6 level question, because I think it takes
I
a
think
lifetime to
yeah.
understand yourself, you know? Um,
For me, it's like I'm very self-aware because I am made to be self-aware because of how I grew up and how I am as a person and like how the things that are taught to me.
hmm,
Like remember I told you about separating emotions and
yeah.
stuff?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I stay aware of my mental state and myself. I don't know everything about myself but I know what pisses me off.
Mm.
I know what makes me feel a certain way because I separate my emotions into different compartments.
So you
I
would
used to be really bad at it. Yes.
mm,
I would lash out at people because I think that everybody was just against me and just wanted me dead,
oh,
right? But
okay.
like after learning some stuff, I realized that some people do it out of concern for me, but they just have a really weird way of showing it. So, I have to separate my feelings, right? And tell people what makes me uncomfortable. Which is why before we had this interview, I also asked you, like, could you give me a list of what questions you're going to ask me? Because I needed to prepare myself for them in case, I don't react the right way. I don't know. I don't know.
And look at you. You're doing
I don't
great.
know.
I never send you questions and you're doing great. Look at you.
Thank you. I mean, it comes with years of practice as well. Like, I never really used to be this good at this, but like, after being on stage as a cosplayer a couple times, and earning myself some accolades as a cosplayer, going for competitions, earning myself, awards and stuff, it taught me a lot.
Mm.
It really taught me a lot, and it also taught me to stay humble.
Mm.
Like I may be achieving all these great things, but without the people that made me who I am today, I wouldn't be where I am today. So essentially, if nobody watched my streams, I would still be, mediocre nobody on the face of earth. But it's
So,
because, like, yeah.
are you telling me that humility is the most true thing a person could know about themselves? Is like how to stay
Yes.
humble?
Yes. It's very important. You can do all these great stuff, but if you're not humble, right? If you're so, you want to be elusive and whatever, right? You want to act like you're some diva.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what you put out to people is what people take in. And if it's something negative, just remember that the negativity goes a long way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The negative, not everybody, like, I'm not trying to lick my own boots, but like, the reason why I haven't succumbed to negativity is because I filter it out. I'm a filtration system where like I said, segregate, look at the thing from an outsider's point of view. Look at it in a third person perspective. Like take yourself out of the situation.
Mm.
Look at it like from two sides of the coin, right?
Mm.
Think about it like logically. You can always feel like you need justice for yourself. It's a very human thing to do. To want to be right, to want to be correct. But okay, I'm gonna say this really stupid thing that my friend keeps telling me. I know it was a joke. It really does make sense if you think about it, which is doesn't mean you're right means you're correct.
Hmm.
Confusing, I know. But
Hmm.
doesn't mean that you are right about something means that you're correct in the situation.
Huh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
doesn't mean that you're, in a situation you want the best outcome.
Yeah.
It's not about who's right. It's about the best outcome. And
Right.
something that stuck with me that my mom said to me once when I was like still starting out as a VTuber was, why make enemies when you can make allies? If you're going into a tough situation, why are you screaming and shouting at each other? Don't scream and shout at each other. Instead, be optimal and think of how you can fix things so that the both of you can be better partners and better team players.
Mm.
It's not always about you, it's about the team.
You
It's
know,
about the people around you that are affected by you.
yeah.
And if you react negatively, everybody around you does the same. What does that come to?
You
What
know,
does that gain you? That the gains nothing.
right. You're right. It seems like your mom really ingrained something that sometimes came across sometimes came across
She's a very tough love lady, but I
harsh.
understand where she's coming from.
Right, but it
Yeah.
seems like you gained a lot of, yeah, exactly, like value from the tough love, and like it seems like the word
Like I
you
said, filtration system. A lot of what my mom says sometimes can come off as like, like to outsiders, it's quote unquote abusive. But
I don't know about
if
that,
you
but yeah,
take
I could see how people
if
would
you
say
take
that.
like if you take like the important parts of what she said, okay, just take the important parts. Okay, a lot of like about what I feel about people today, is that people can say something really nasty to you, right? People in the heat of anger can say something shit to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can see you suck. Okay, but maybe in that moment you really did do something that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to think about it. It's not always the person at fault. It could be a two-way street. It's a two-way street with all of us.
Yeah.
How you react to me is how I'm gonna react back to you.
Yeah.
It's just the laws of how it works.
Well, what I think is like super curious is that you've used the word from your mother and you've used a word from your
Hmm.
partner of
Hmm.
things that like you've really like held on to and things that you've really remembered and you've enacted in your like core beliefs. And it's
Hmm.
weird because they're in a weird way they're almost the same. They're obviously kind of different, but
They're
uh
different.
yeah. The the words that I've picked up from you from this, first of all, is optimal from your mother, right? Like that is like
Hmm.
obviously a word that you've included into your process. Like make sure I'm optimal, and that which sounds cold, obviously. But
Hmm.
it's obviously doesn't have to be. But then, like the word your partner
I
says,
mean, words are words. Yeah.
yeah, right, right. It just kind of depends on how you
How you
interpret
take
them.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but the word that you've said um, from your partner is actionable. So you have optimal and actionable, which is odd because they're very similar, but obviously have their like area in which they're very different. Like if they're a Venn diagram, they cross over quite a bit, but then there's the outskirts
Hmm.
where it's just like these are not the same in these
Hmm.
categories. So that's
Like I
just
said, my mom's very military style, so the stuff she says sometimes can come off as really cold, but I
right.
get
Yeah,
it.
right. But I think it's pretty curious to hear you talk about this stuff in a whole general scope of things, and then to see like how you have these like key words at your process. So I think that's pretty awesome, to be honest, that you because all of a sudden the word I have for you based off the words that you've
Hmm.
given me
Hmm.
is you I think you have a ton of integrity um to these things, because I think you've uh very intentionally processed through the value of those words, and like you said, you have segregated almost all the words and the actions and the situations you've ever been in.
It's very important. It's very important for me because, like, I'm like I've said, I have problems. I have like mild autism, and I like the way I process emotion is very different from the rest.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it's very important for me to do that because, I can take people the wrong way, and I don't like I've lived a life of being bullied and not being heard,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been like, you can either choose to be a survivor or a victim.
Mm. Yeah.
And I choose to be a survivor.
Yeah.
I choose to grit my teeth, survive it, push through, and come out a better person.
Yeah. I just
Which
think.
a lot of people don't do nowadays, which kind of peeves me a little, but everybody's different. I understand that. Not everybody is strong,
Right. Yeah.
right? We
Yeah.
can't expect, we can't expect we can't put our expectations onto people because that's just going to be disappointing at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But you may be a victim now, but you'll be a survivor in the future.
Yeah. 100%. And like I said, I truly believe, like, off of this conversation that we've had today, I truly believe that you 100% are invested in the things that you're saying. And that's why I think the word that I impart onto you is like integrity. Like, I think you're like 100% invested on your process.
I'm
And
a very real person. I agree because like I don't know how to sugarcoat things. I say things as they come. Whatever
right.
you tell me is whatever I'll put out.
Yeah, there it is. That's how it is. But, well, that is the 6th level. Are you
Mhm.
ready for the 7th level? The last question.
Oh no. Okay.
This is our season 1 reoccurring question. So if you have watched the other videos so far, you know this one already. But if not, I think it's a fair question because it gives some range for some deep discussion, or it gives some range for a really funny and goofy answer. So I
Oh,
really appreciate this question.
I love interaction. What can I
well,
say?
well, let's interact over this 7th question. Here it is.
All right.
What is the change in the world you would like to see, but you aren't sure that you have the power to implement?
Wow. Wow. Hard to swallow pills. Let me see. Let me think about this. So essentially what you're saying is like what's something that I can do, or I think I don't have the power to do, but I would like to see in like the future
Exactly.
ish.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be super applicable and realistic, or it could be wildly imaginable. Either one. You can take it either way.
I'd like to see people more people being paid for their dues, like recognized for their hard work, like actual hard work, instead of scalpers and all these people who live off other people's hard work. I'd like to see that change because like I don't know, I don't like, as much as this sound really mean, but I don't like leeches. I don't like leeches. I don't like parasites. I find that like I know of a lot of people who are just leeching onto other people's coattails to like rise to the top.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a strategy. It's a
Yeah.
good like it's a kind of strategy, but I'm not sure if it's a good one because like at the end of the day, are you really putting in the work,
Yeah.
or is someone putting in the work for you?
Yeah. You know why?
Right?
You know why you don't like this?
Why? Why?
Because you have integrity and they don't. You like this is wild. You've brought it into to fruition. This is even like proves it even more that this is like a good word for you. Like, yeah, I
I
could.
mean, you can get easy money, but what's the fun if you're not, if you didn't earn it yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, I don't find it fun at all. I feel like you're playing a game than being carried.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I don't like to be. I mean, you don't have to be the MVP, but just play your part.
Yeah. Yeah. That's super interesting. Yeah. Yeah, no
Like if
one
you're
likes
an
to be
MVP,
carried.
cool, right? You're an MVP. There are different characteristics in this. Like you can either be an MVP or you can be like just do your part. You know, be the NPC and just do your part.
Yeah. No one likes the
Just be a
bottom frag.
non-playable character. Yeah, yeah. Like don't be a feeder. Don't be a
Yeah.
camper. Just standing there doing nothing. Like do something.
Waiting
God
for the
damn
win.
it.
Yeah. No kidding. Oh,
Like at least you may like if you're a support, just play your supportive role.
right.
There's something called a support DPS. Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. There's tons of
You
things like
still
that.
cause damage, but you're a support. You're not the main guy. You don't have to be the main guy, but just do your part,
Yeah.
right?
And that
Like, just
just,
don't wait for things to drop from the sky. That's not how it works. It's disgusting.
yeah. And obviously, this is just a huge metaphor for, how we should just be in our, at every point in our life, right? Like, we should just really actively go pursue the things that we really want, not just like
Like, I
coattail.
guess just live honestly. Like, yeah, like I always say this throughout my streams. Life is pain with nothing to gain, right?
Hmm.
But, okay, on the contrary, life is pain with nothing to gain. But you can gain after you faced all the pain. There's
Interesting.
something to gain after the pain.
There's
Like,
something
you
to
can
gain
be
after the
bullied all
pain.
your life, like, after you get bullied, all this stuff, it makes you a tougher person, for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, all the bullies that have said some really nasty shit to me, made fun of me. I did cry a little. It's okay. We're human. We're bound to show emotion. Like
Yeah.
that's how you know that you're real, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel things and I behave a certain way and I just put it forward. Like
Mm.
it's that simple. Like you play it forward. People doesn't mean that I believe in karma. Okay,
Okay.
I believe that I believe in the butterfly effect as well.
Okay.
Every action has its consequence, whether good, whether bad. Even if it's good, sometimes it can come out bad.
Okay.
So you need to pick and choose what you want to do, right?
All
You
right.
need to strategize how you play the game of life. So doesn't mean somebody says something nasty to you. Like today somebody can say like, "Ew, you're just an anime person, gross." We always get that, right? Even in my streams, like people just do that. But like the great thing I like about being online is I can just block the person. Goodbye. Yeah, shut up. Don't care. Good day. But usually before I block them, right? Like I heard this from a comedian once, right? He said that anything is a game if you will it to be a game.
Hmm.
So what I do with these people is I troll them. So they come in and we're like, you only got like have fun with your 23 viewers, Like people say that to me sometimes. Like, have fun with your 23 viewers. I'm gonna watch some other partner streamer and I'm just like, well, that's 23 more viewers than you. Good day.
Give it right back to him. Yep. Mm.
Like, hello, excuse me. You don't try it on me. It's not gonna work. You're gonna get your ass handed back to you, and you better make sure you can handle it. Like, if you throw a punch, make sure you can take the same punch, throw it back at you. This is basically it.
Man.
And like a famous quote from my favorite movie, Hit Girl: "Act like a bitch, get slapped like a bitch." It's my
That,
favorite quote to the day.
out of all the quotes, that's the quote. Man, what's crazy, you've given me a lot of quotes today that I'm gonna have to like write down. So I can't wait to
Yeah.
watch this back and like I'm actually, you've given me a lot of things that I've like actually like quote worthy things that I've never heard before. So I'm gonna have to write some of these down for sure. But
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad that I could give you an insight to the world of my VTubing world. I'm not sure about the other VTubers. Maybe in the future you'll get another VTuber. I don't know, but like just know that
can't wait. If I do,
all
I'll
different.
be so excited. I just love learning. So
So many different
what'd you
types
say
of
earlier?
VTubers.
Learning doesn't stop, right? Is that what you said? Learning's forever. That's what you said. Learning's forever.
Yep.
So, well, Minimal Art, aka Min, that is 7 levels. You did it. Congratulations. How are you feeling?
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
Same old.
This is, you know what? I feel bad. Oh wait, you know what? I'll just put this. I'm gonna make a little. I'll make an extra announcement, but I'll have to do this in post editing too. I forgot to announce the 6th level sub announcement. So if for anyone who's made it this far, if you, which you'll see this here in a earlier when I put it earlier, whatever, editing does the thing, and if you see this, if you are the first person after this video to go into Minimal Art's stream and say I made it to the 6th level, Minimal Art will then DM me and tell me who it was that said it, and you will get a free gifted sub to Minimal Art's channel on twitch.tv/. Yeah, of course. Thank you for being here. That's the least I could do. I love it. And
so kind.
Again, man, this has been a riveting conversation. I want to have this again with you sometime. Hopefully, I mean, like I said, this is only season 1 of 7 levels. Hopefully,
we can also play games together. I mean, I play Splatoon. It's a pretty toxic game, but
I've never played Splatoon, but I've watched Splatoon and I've never played it. But I know I'd get into it. I know I would get into it.
So salty and so sweaty. Okay, that's the only time you'll see me sweaty. That game brings out the demons.
Well, Minimal Art, go ahead and take a second to tell the viewers what you got going on in your community. You got anything cool coming up? Anything that you want to announce or anything like that? What's going on?
I'm there's not much going on. We just, if you like what you see and you want to see more, you can come over to twitch.tv/minimal_art and view my content. I do a lot of art and we talk trash sometimes in there. I shit post on main. No, I'm just kidding. I don't. But yeah, my entire channel is kind of like a art and shit post at the same time. It's like I'm just talking nonsense sometimes, and sometimes we're talking about serious stuff. It doesn't matter. It's like whatever comes to mind, I'll just talk about it because, you know, I feel like it and it's my channel. I do what I want, right? So same thing here. Like it's his channel. He asks all the questions he wants, and I'll just answer. Right? So yeah, just if you like honest truths, you want me to just slap you with some, you want me to roast you, whatever, I'm there. You can come to the Twitch channel, and I will greet you like everybody else. But then my community's kind of cursed. My mods bully me. My community kind of bullies me. I can't speak anymore. And like, yeah, and then like people come in from a raid and they're just like, what is this forest fire?
Oh my gosh.
It's a forest fire. Yeah, like, you know, sometimes I'll just like go zoom in, you know, point a gun at people's faces.
Oh
and
my gosh.
yeah, that's also a thing that I do, which is funny. Yeah, to me it's funny. I don't know about the viewers. To me it's funny because like they're always saying something stupid, and like before I did that, like I remember like I would like zoom in and tell people like, stop it, get some help. And then like, you know, after like there was once I was like, you know what, I'm gonna point a gun at everybody. So they start bullying me and I just take out a gun and we're like, yeah, you may be swift with your words, but I'm not out of options.
You're running the show from now on, right?
Yeah. So yeah, like that's my channel in a nutshell. We're just cursed, yet not really.
Well, Minimal, Min, I really appreciate the conversation we had today. Thank you so much for coming on 7 levels, and
no problem, man.
Congratulations, you made it all the way through. I hope you know I thought this was a lovely conversation. So all we have left is to say goodbye to YouTube. So I know you can't wave right now, but I know in the future you'll be able to wave and do all the fancy stuff.
Yeah.
But
right now all I can do is this.
Just a little wiggle. That's fine. But
and like happy eyes.
Yeah. Well, so I'll say it for the both of us. Goodbye, YouTube, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye bye.